Welcome to Crystal Clear Talk with psychic medium Louis Mabee. Now, here's your host.
Hey, Louis.
Hey, John. How's it going tonight?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Happy 1 week into summer solstice.
I know. This month is just flying by so quickly.
It is. And I am so excited because I'm leaving in 2 days to go on my European vacation. Hey, Michael. And so, yeah, I'm so excited. And we're going to be doing these podcasts when we get back in August. So tonight's discussion is all about Mercury in retrograde. Now, even though Mercury isn't going to be coming towards us until the beginning of August, there is this whole pass through that we have to be prepared for ahead of time so that when it does hit us fair and square, right in between the eyeballs, that we're going to be a little bit more prepared and we're going to have some ammunition so that we can safeguard any kind of like upsets and technical issues and all that kind of real fun stuff that, you and I have been a part of during this little journey on getting all this together. And to everyone that just joined us, a big thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you are going to have a good time tonight. I know I'm going to. And John's back on the control board behind the scenes. He's actually my logo that you see on the screen because he doesn't like his little pretty face up on the camera.
There I am. Hello.
So once again, thank you to Vera, who was the previous week's winner for the Connection Soul Healing. And John has also picked the name of last week's participant who liked and shared and did all that good fun stuff to help promote me. And I greatly appreciate everyone that did it. We're going to keep on doing it. Hey, Barbara. And last week's winner is Catherine Katie. And Catherine is from my hometown, Kitchener, or not hometown, but where I live in Kitchener. So congrats, Catherine. When I will be in contact with you and we can set something up to connect with doing some soul healing and sometime in August when I get back from my vacation. We're going to do it again. And if you want to read more about what I do for soul connection healing, please visit my website at louismabee.com. And you'll be able to get all the information plus much, much more right on my website. So without any further ado, I would like to bring my very first guest co-host on tonight, Sharita Starr. Sharita is a numerologist, an astrologer, and I don't know if this is the right word to use, but I'm going to use it. It's a lexigrammist. And it's a real cool thing that she can do with your name. And I didn't even think about this, but she did a whole thing on me in English on my name, Louis John Mabee, and what it breaks down to, like, and she can tell you when she comes up some of the things that she got from my name. But then she also did in French because I'm from Canada, and so we speak French and English here, and her partner in crime is also French, but from Parisian. Ooh la la, c'est magnifique. So, without any further ado, I know, right? Let me introduce you to Sharita Starr.
Yay,
hello,
Sharita.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Ça va?
Ça va.
Oh,
I should say bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
I should say bonsoir. Pardonnez-moi.
Excusez-moi. So Sharita is a numerologist and astrologer, and you've been doing this for quite a long while, haven't you?
Well,
I didn't hear that.
I think the tech gods protected things, revealing that.
Yeah, I was protected for a few years, and then when it became my own Saturn return, which if you are a follower of astrology, you may know what that term means. But it's when you technically have done all your learning and self-discovery to be able to really enter. And everyone experiences this same cycle around 28 to 30 years of age. And if you are doing things in your life that you're not meant to be doing, then the Saturn return will like 86 it, so to speak.
And that's very true.
I happen to have a Saturn in my house. So when all of this like kind of information, that was when I read the book by Linda Goodman, Star Signs, and it connected the dots of astrology to numerology. And yes, you did say that absolutely correctly, lexigrammist, and how these lexicograms work within our lives. And one of the things that I deeply learned from reading that book is that our names and our birthdays hold all the keys to our success. Because if you don't know yourself, then you're not doing anything correctly in your life anyway.
Basically.
You shouldn't be following things that don't belong to you.
Yeah. And you it's so true, at least for me, because when I was about 28, I decided, well, actually, I really didn't decide it. It was decided for me to leave the corporate world.
Exactly.
And to do what I do as a psychic medium full time. I always did it. And then when I was in my 20s, the work background, the ethic and all that sort of thing was, work, get a job, that sort of thing. And yes, I do, Michael, remember back that long ago. And in fact, I'm surprised that you can even spell it still.
Michael, that must be Michael Arrington.
That's Michael Arrington. Michael Arrington is actually...
Bonsoir, Michael.
Michael is actually the voice that you hear on my new intro that we did. So thank you, Michael, for doing that. But with what happened to me was I kept on getting signals and signs from the universe saying, quit your job, do this full time. And I'm like, no. What if I can't pay my rent? What if I can't pay my bills and all that sort of thing? And then the universe went, you can, and let me prove it to you. And I basically ended up in the hospital with a musculatory hernia. And I never went back to my corporate job.
The body has a great way of directing us where we need to go sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. So, Sharita, tell us all more about what is actually Mercury retrograde.
Well, it looks like she's experiencing it now. Sharita, your phone keeps breaking up.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a little better now. Go ahead.
Okay. I was going to add to what you were saying, Louis, because I can completely relate to you, is that, up until that 28 to 30 age bracket, I kept getting fired from every restaurant job I had, because that was where I was, the field I was in. And it was like, it was the universe pointing me in this other direction, even though at the time I was always frustrated by the fact I got fired. But we're all meant to work for ourselves. Some people are meant to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Blessings in disguises.
Mercury retrograde, in what astrology has it's an impeccable value to know how much timing is everything in our lives. So this cycle is, now a lot of people, there's a lot of people out there who know about Mercury retrograde, and I want to say are very fearful of Mercury retrograde. And this is where we want to like kind of debunk the myth.
Take the fear out.
What it is.
Right.
Exactly. Because this is a very important cycle that astrology repeats all the time. It happens every 3 weeks at a time. And retrograde, of course, is not the fact that it's funny because there's this banter with astrologers and the astronomers, because astrology will measure the fact that the Mercury is going backwards in how we look at our 360-degree wheel, which is what each of the 12 signs occupy the 30 degrees of space. But the astronomer is going to tell you it doesn't actually go backwards. However, it's not going forward either. So it's sort of stationary. What happens is this planet, and Mercury is a planet thinking. Or any exchanges, the electricity, the cars, transportation, movement of any kind. So when Mercury is in this retrograde, which again, astrology says, okay, it's going backwards. Astronomy says it's just kind of sticking out. And down here below becomes a little offset for those 3 weeks that the Mercury is doing this passage. And the next one that comes up for us is August 12th through September 5th. And if any of you out there can backtrack a little bit and think back to your tumultuous spring, because I think there's many people out there who could agree that April 9th through May 2nd was like a bit of a tornado.
Yes.
On some level in their life. You know, everything was not on schedule. Things were delayed. Things were just not working in the fashion that people may have optimally wished that something could be working. So this is what Mercury creates when he's retrograde. He creates all this, like, it seems like chaos if you're unaware of what's really going on. But if you know how to work with the cycle, then you're going to actually have success. Because what I have coined Mercury retrograde to be, it's a cycle of reflection. So those 3 weeks that it happens every 3 to 4 months, we need as humans, and even though I know we live in an instant now world and everyone needs to, like, you know, have things done like as soon as possible, you know, and we
let me update, let me connect.
Can't get any. Let me like and love something more, you know, I mean, it's great. We love Facebook and obviously we're grateful we're here now, but you know, it's things where we're so caught up in just getting all this stuff and trying to process and download, and especially in today's world. And you know, and I know you're living in that beautiful country of Canada, Louis, but I happen to live in the, you know, little precarious country of America right now. And, you know, I mean, Americans are really upset right now. I mean, and I know a lot of, you know, the world understands why.
Right.
And I'm not going to get into politics by any means, but the energy is really crazy.
Yep.
So what the Mercury retrograde is designed for, and whether we're having, you know, political upheaval or whatever we're doing, it's a time for all of us to kind of, every few months, just take some downtime.
It's like a nap.
And reflect. You know, there's that phrase, a rolling stone cannot gather in moss. So
That's
if
right.
we're going to we need to give ourselves time to kind of do that, which is what Mercury retrograde is all about. So.
Right. Awesome. So this upcoming summer Mercury retrograde, it is going to be in what houses?
We're going to see it. It's going to start at the 11th degree of Virgo, and then it's going to backtrack all the way to the 28th degree of Leo. So it's just going to like clip at the, and it'll enter Leo the 31st of August. And then for the remainder through September 5th, it'll be really stationed that whole week. It's like the last week of, actually say the first week of September, and that very tail end of August is where that stagnation energy comes from. And I talk about that a lot in my workshop, Mastering Mercury Retrograde. People navigate through these time frames with success. And every Mercury retrograde is different. No two are alike. The effects of them are similar, but where they are hitting in your life, like you asked the question, what houses are these in? So the one back in April, moving into early May, which I mentioned before, was in the signs of Taurus, and then it moved back into Aries. So it was a whole different area of your life where you were asked to reflect properly. during that time frame. So what's coming up in August is the fact that we've got it now engaging within almost the mid degree of Virgo, but not quite. And that's going to go just into the tail end of Leo. And then we've got eclipse season, which I know we're going to talk about that too. So there's a whole nother ball game to this one.
So with it starting in Virgo, what is that? What is Virgo all about? Like what should we be reflecting on when it's in Virgo stage?
Mm-hmm. Well, Virgo is the sign of course, perfection, which for every Virgo, I have to constantly tell them perfection's a journey. It's not a destination.
Right.
And the Virgos get so caught up in perfection. They want everything perfect. Virgo it's a beautiful sign. It's the sign of the Virgin. It's the purity and the innocence of our life. It's where we want things to be of service, where we would like to, work with our habits and routines in the best ways that we can. Virgos love details. They scrutinize everything. They scrutinize themselves more than anyone. And that's one thing I always tell a Virgo, you have to get the doubt out of your head about yourself.
Right.
You're great at spotting flaws, and you're great at saying, okay, you can walk into a situation and say, okay, A, B, C, and D, maybe E needs to be fixed. And
right.
A little straightening this stuff out right now.
Yeah.
So that's going to be like a big challenge with this one, is that especially in the first part of it from August 12th through the 31st of August, is going to be that like everyone may, and I want to say to people who don't know it's Mercury retrograde, are going to be like in this expectation of perfection, but it's not going to happen. It's going to be so, we'll be like, what?
So what I'm hearing then is there's going to be many people that will be experiencing whatever is going on in their life that they want to fix it, or they want it to be perfect now and then. Yeah. But yet, because Mercury is within the retrograde, it's more about the reflection piece of, well, let me create a master plan, or let me create something of steps so that when I know that the timing is right, I can move forward with the plan, maybe not the plan of perfection, but the plan of conquering or the plan of mastering.
Mm-hmm. The wonderful thing about the Mercury retrograde, anytime it happens, but of course, especially what's coming up in August, is that it's going to be a good time to do your research within the Virgo area of your life. Now, of course, depending on the sun sign you are, and then there's the other aspect is, of course, we want to dive deep into your natal chart, which I would, any astrologer would need the time of day you're born and your city, and your full birthday, and we're going to get your personal map. And that gives the ultimate details and that real microscopic view of where are you meant to be reflecting. Mm-hmm. And of course, your sun sign is one. It's very general, and it's not to say it's not effective in your life, but it's much better to look at your natal chart than just read your horoscope.
Right.
Now I saw the value over the years only because people just kind of think, oh, it's just my horoscope in the newspaper. But astrology is so much more than that. I mean, believe me, we could talk for hours, but we only have this one right now.
We only have an hour.
But in Virgo, what we want to do is do our research, kind of become a student. And when we look at whatever area, and of course there's 12 different areas of any given astrological chart. So there's the area that rules our money, our home and family life, our career, our relationships, our wealth, our hopes, dreams, and wishes for the future, how we like to spend time alone, so on and so forth. So what's really beneficial for any individual is to know, well, what area of my life am I supposed to be paying attention
to? Yeah.
Reflection.
Yeah.
To know that. And even from your sun sign's perspective, you want to know that as well, because there is a duality forecast that you're always following. The natal chart is really the nitty gritty,
Right.
But you know, your sun sign is going to at least give you some clues too. It's not going to be like so off kilter in its information that it's going to be misinforming you. Let's put it that way.
That, Nina just brought up something interesting, and I know Michael is the same way, where Mercury, what happens to the person that was born within a Mercury in retrograde?
That is such a good question. What I love about, and I love telling people this who have a natal Mercury retrograde, is that you tend to get through the Mercury retrogrades with better ease than the people who don't, because it's your natural energy. But here's the rule. And we haven't really talked about that, but you still have to follow the rules of Mercury retrograde, even if you have a natal Mercury retrograde.
Right.
But what a natal Mercury retrograde person notices is that they don't get so tripped up by the natural changes that the Mercury retrograde will offer every time it shows up. Like, they're not like freaked out that, oh my God, my schedule changed. Oh, I'm going to be resistant, that I wanted it to work out this way and it didn't work out that way. But if they want to start something with very, very, you know, they want to have future, success with something they're initiating, you don't want to do it under Mercury retrograde, even if you have a natal Mercury retrograde. So you still have to follow the rules, which of course there are I cover all of this, you know, in my workshop as well. As I have done this work and I started to obviously observe Mercury retrograde cycles, and I watched people get aggravated and frustrated. And I was like, the people don't know what to do with it. They need to know how to understand it. And so that's why I developed the program, because you're meant to slow down.
Right.
You're meant to kind of, I use the analogy of, if you drive a stick, it'll make a lot of sense. But even if you have an automatic, you'll know how to do this too. You take your foot off the gas, you throw your car in neutral, and you coast down the highway. Yeah. And you just glide for a bit. And you let life and the flow take you where it's meant to go, rather than, oh my God, I have this plan and it has to work out this way in these 3 weeks. You know, it's you're whistling Dixie, as we say in the South. You know?
So it's basically stop resisting. So, like, if you feel like there's a slowdown, there's a coast, then really go after the path of least resistance. And not necessarily even have to reflect, but just slow down.
Mm-hmm. Slowing down is the biggest. It's one of the things I teach, and I repeatedly say in the workshop is slow down. Have patience. Patience is your friend under Mercury retrograde. You really want to understand how to take your time.
Right.
Schedule more time to get where you're going, because one of the biggest Mercury retrograde things that'll happen is, especially when you're traveling, because Mercury guides the cars, the planes, the trains, the automobiles, all those things.
Mercury has
you're gonna experience so you want to give wherever you're going during those 3 weeks. It will always allow you not to be late. You know, wherever you need to go. But if you are traveling, let's say you're going to get on a plane, you know, you may have a delay with that plane. There may be some weather issues, you know, whatever the case may be. There's all these quirks that happen under Mercury retrograde. There's the RE words with Mercury retrograde. Any word that begins with RE, and the only ones I say do not use is resistance and do not react. Respond, reflect, review, redo, reassess, reorganize, revisit, and reconnect. Mercury retrograde wants us to go back to what already exists.
So it's not a new game plan.
Big rule of thumb there.
Yeah, so
for sure. We have to take our time and gather up that moss, you know?
Right. Right. So don't be looking for a new house or buy a new vehicle around?
You can look for the house. You could look for the new vehicle, but I wouldn't purchase it under the cycle. So you can do your, that's an RE word. You can do your research.
Right. Okay.
Do your research, but don't make a decision until after, with this one coming up. Don't make your final decision until after September 5th. And you will be much happier with the end result rather than making the decision under Mercury retrograde. However, there's a lot of things that we tend to have to do because we didn't prepare for the approach.
Right.
Or under the approach, which I know you wanted to talk about as well.
So what is the approach? What's the difference between the approach and Mercury retrograde?
Okay, so we have, what's fun about Mercury retrograde is that even though it for this is a little bit more than 3 weeks, which annoys a lot of people because they don't understand what to do. But the approach to the Mercury retrograde for the one starting August 12th is going to start July 23rd. So, and basically in the mathematics of it all, the Mercury will be at the point at that time on July 23rd that it's going to retrograde back to you. So it's going to cross over the 28th degree of Leo and it's going to move forward. And then by the time August 12th rolls along, it's stationed on 11 degrees of Virgo and then goes backwards. So when we have the approach, which again is going to be July 23rd through the 12th of August, that's when we want to go, okay, I know, if you're aware, I know the area of my life Mercury is going to backtrack to. So what do I need to do? What do I need to prepare for? What do I know?
Whoops, you broke up a little bit there, Sharita.
In this area of my life might
Yeah, she's breaking up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hear you guys, but
I think you're back now.
Yeah. And Lewis, your audio is crackling up a little bit too. Sharita, are you okay? Do you hear us okay?
I hear you perfectly.
Okay.
I hear you
audience,
perfectly.
just bear with this audience because this seems to happen sometimes with Lewis's audio starts to crackle up, and so we'll get him back on in just 1 second. So as Sharita was saying, just pay attention to the words that begin with RE. And Sharita, can you go over those words with us one more time? And then you said there were two in particular that you wanted us to not.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The RE words that I love under Mercury retrograde is, obviously it's a cycle of reflection.
Yes.
We want to go back and review. We want to redo. And again, I think before we got cut out, we were talking about under the approach, we want to take all of that consideration into this area of our life. So what do I need to do? And what do I know about this area of my life that I might want to I might have to recharge it, and retreat and renew it and revise it. One of the great cool things of Mercury retrograde is you're out at the grocery store or wherever you are in your world and you run into people it may not be the grocery store, you could be crossing the corner, on the street, and you run into someone. Reconnecting is huge under Mercury retrograde. Which is really fun, and because all of us are obviously so well connected on social media, and some people have more friends than they even know what to do with. But take a look at your friends and see who you haven't talked to in a while, and who would you like to reach out to. It's a huge energetic pulse of Mercury retrograde to hear from people you haven't heard from. It could be in the last few months. It could be in the last few years. It depends on what the scenario is. But again, under the approach, the most important thing to do is to prepare for the reflection that you're going to do. So if you know your car is making a funny noise, go take it into the shop under the approach. Don't wait until Mercury retrograde.
Right.
Those types of things. And again, when Mercury retrograde always allows us to work with change, and it challenges us to not react or resist what is changing. So those, again, are, like you mentioned, John, are the two words that we don't want to engage in habitually under the cycle, because if we do, it's like a domino effect. If we want to resist.
Right. You want to make sure.
So we want to be very mindful of being flexible and being adaptable. Yes. And allowing ourselves to embrace what change can do for us, because we're meant to go through a renewal, a recharge. And that's what's the beauty of a Mercury retrograde versus, oh my God, I can't stand it. It's Mercury retrograde. And yeah, everybody complains. I mean, if I can't, I could tell you, like, these people, like they complain on Facebook, especially a place like that, it's Mercury retrograde. And I can tell you, for the people who don't know, that this one is coming and they have no clue. Under Virgo, there's going to be nitpicky fuss pots and I mean, you name it. It's people are going to be just like, because Virgo in a bad mood is terrible. I mean, you don't want to be around a Virgo in a bad mood.
Right. So in your course that you're offering, the Mastering Mercury Retrograde course, that I put the link in the bottom of the screen there so people can see, and I'll put it again up on the screen. The thing is that do you list these words, and for us to be, a very...
I happen to have a Virgo ascendant, so, I can only imagine what this next one will do for me, but I'm an impeccable student and also a teacher. So I encourage you to be the student. So you get these really extensive notes. You get to listen to the recording. You're going to follow along. You're going to write all these things down. You're also going to learn the different effects that this particular Mercury retrograde has, not only with what our other planets are doing under this time frame, and the way that in astrology we call it aspects. And an aspect is the simplicity of one planet is having another conversation with another planet, and that's an aspect. And it's a very mathematical alignment that's going on at that time, which is why energy is either flowing, or it could be a little blocked, or it could be, maybe like a magnet, and we could click, or maybe we're going to resist it. So there's a lot of things associated with this upcoming Mercury retrograde that we really need to be aware of. And those are things I can't possibly explain all in this hour, but that's, again, what's included in the workshop. And the other plus, or I don't know if you call it a plus or bonus, or, but we have eclipse season happening in August as well. We have 2 eclipses. And if you're familiar with how even the simplicity of understanding how a full and a new moon are working, the eclipses always happen on a new and a full moon. So we have a lunar eclipse on August 7th, and then we're going to have the Great American Solar Eclipse is going to be on the 21st of August.
And that's a rare one, isn't it?
Under the Mercury retrograde directly. The first one will come under the approach, just like 5 days before we turn retrograde. But let's put it this way. August is going to be amped up like you can't believe. So you really need to be prepared.
So what kind of preparations can we do with these 2 eclipses coming in on top of the Mercury in retrograde? Like what some things can our viewers look forward to, as far as, they prepared, they reflected, they reviewed, and now they're in the middle of that? What kind of things or actions or non-actions even should we do on a general sense to keep the energy flowing properly and not to get trapped into the melodies of what some people react to with Mercury retrograde?
Well, again, what's coming just 5 days before Mercury retrograde begins is the lunar eclipse in Aquarius. So a lunar eclipse always accompanies a full moon. So that means we're already in, and again, this is things I explained in the workshop of how to work with the cycle of the Mercury retrograde in conjunction with the lunar cycles with the planetary aspects and conversations. But with the lunar eclipse, which is going to be in Aquarius, you're going to want to be taking a very long period of reflection from where the 15th degree of Aquarius is sitting in your natal chart. That's going to like pull something out of your life. It's going to ask you to let go of something. You're going to be clearing out, so to speak. So even 5 days before the Mercury retrograde begins, we're in this huge period of reassessment, coming from a waning phase of the full moon. But the lunar eclipse is also going to pull that even more intently. Right. And then we're going to build, or we're going to let go all the way through the 21st of August. And then we hit the second eclipse, which is going to be the solar eclipse on the second new moon that will be in Leo this year. So we have one new moon in Leo on the 23rd of August, which is the day Mercury goes under the approach. So it's like, it's all intertwined. It's so like, there's so many details to this one. It's like, it kind of makes my own head spin as the astrologer, but it's a lot of energy. So what I want to say, especially for the first half of this Mercury retrograde, I don't know what you plan on doing for the future from August 7th through August 21st, but you shouldn't be doing anything but these two RE words: resting and relaxing, reflecting, revisiting, all those, again, the research, all that kind of stuff. If you are trying to build something in your life for forward motion or future success, that time frame is definitely not going to do it for you.
Right. So I say this often to clients that I'm trying to get them to refocus or re-energize themselves. It's like, get your favorite chair, get your favorite view, get your favorite beverage, and sit down.
Absolutely.
Yes. And let the world go by. You don't need to be in the marching band to enjoy the tour.
Thank you, Louis, because I do the same with people. We're so, and again, God bless Facebook and the ability to be able to do this like we are doing right now. But people don't take enough time anymore for themselves away from receiving information like 24/7. It's no wonder nobody sleeps at night, because it's like your brain is like, what? I'm used to getting information. I just want more information right now. And that's why I'm not going to sleep, because I want more information.
Right.
And we need to kind of, I think if people really took the time to understand their connection with social media alone and even reflect on that. Because that's something that lunar eclipse in August would ask any of us very collectively, and not, your personal chart is going to tell you your own area of life. You really need to focus on what's letting go in the next 6 months after that. But as a lunar eclipse arriving in Aquarius, which is the sign of humanity, it's the sign of how we are all we're all individually part of the whole.
Right.
But how are we working with that? And are we working with is our piece of the puzzle the right piece? Are we really giving the right piece of the puzzle?
Right. So it's kind of like TLC, like tender loving care, but for yourself.
Exactly. And if you know Aquarius energy, Aquarius is about humanity. But Aquarius is, I want to say, at times with themselves, they're very like talk to the hand.
Right.
You know, they're friendly. They want everyone to be happy and harmonious, but they're very individual.
Yep.
And they do everything to the beat of their own drum. So that eclipse that comes just a few days before the Mercury retrograde begins is really going to just sort of like have this collective effect of saying, how are you beating to the, how are you doing that? How are you, how are you making your own drum sound in life?
Right.
Or are you following everything that you maybe shouldn't be?
It could be a tuning in, like we'll use the drum analogy. It's like maybe the string needs to be tightened, or the tendon needs to be tightened to make it better. vibration.
Yeah. If you're a musician, you would know that too. Like, your drum might need a little thing, or if you're a guitarist, your guitar might get out of tune, or your piano needs to be whatever it is,
But take the time to do that.
Exactly. And that's part of, people get very tied up sometimes with thinking self-care is egotistical, and it's not. It's the only way you're going to be, and this is what the Virgo Mercury retrograde is going to ask. Well, the only way you're going to be of the best service to other people in life is if you've already taken care of yourself.
Right.
Because otherwise you're just going to give your energy away mindlessly.
And I think that's
or maybe be taken advantage of in the process.
Right. And that's, like, again, so vital for this Mercury in retrograde, more than any other time that you've experienced in the last 12 years. This is a time to, take vacation if you can, get your favorite view and your favorite chair and your favorite beverage, and really check out so you can check in.
Yes.
You're not pausing.
And you have to detach to do that.
Right. You're not pausing, but you're breathing. And even like if you're running a marathon, you're going to be out of breath. So you have to stop running to catch your breath to go back to normal. So look at it this way.
You definitely do.
We're right now we're in the marathon. Coming up in July is okay. We've just crossed the finish line. It's time to
get your ducks in a row right now.
Right. It's time to get our ducks in a row. Like, let's collect the prize. We won. And now it's time to put our warm-up suit on so that our muscles don't go into atrophy, and slow down, eat well, rest well, review the race if you have to, like that, like review what you've been doing, but yet review it in a way where you're not jumping into the next marathon or the next action. And it's allowing you to breathe. It's allowing you to slow down. It's allowing you to find that peace and that tranquility that we haven't been experiencing lately in our lives because we have been connected too much. Does that make sense?
Definitely. It does to me.
Good.
And you guys still hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Okay. Exactly. So, you said it perfectly, Louis. That's exactly what we all need to be doing during this month of August coming up.
Right.
Disconnect and focus on self-care.
Relax. Yes. Rest and relax are my two favorite. Are in retreat.
REs.
3. Yeah. I'll give it 3.
All right.
My favorite RE words: rest, relax, and retreat.
Awesome. Yeah. Now, what about the eclipse? So that's the first part of that Mercury retrograde, triple whammy or triple threat, whatever you want to call it. Now we're going to go into the Great American, eclipse.
And that's the one on the 21st. So so the first half of this, it's about the first half through the 21st. That's all in a waning moon.
Yep.
So the waning moon is already telling us, let's reflect anyway.
Yeah, like,
we're supposed to reflect 2 weeks out of the month.
Right.
But nobody really does that very well.
Put that, whatever you're doing, down. Go get a book. Go catch up on some TV. Go for a walk in nature. Just simply slow it down. And and be mindful of your individuality, because again, that particular eclipse on the 7th of August is going to be really asking you to think about what your individual part is in the whole, and what needs to change about that individual part. What needs to be cleared out? What doesn't make any sense anymore? And again, knowing your natal chart and all these things. And there's I do bi-monthly lunaroscopes. So of course, if you're on my mailing list, you'll find that too. But what I do is I write a horoscope based on the lunar cycles for your sun sign. And if you are very savvy with your ascendant and you know exactly where it is and whether, sometimes you got to know your chart to really know how to read for your ascendant. And so if someone doesn't know their chart,
simplicity of reading for your sun sign.
Yeah. So if someone doesn't know their chart that well, how do we get in touch with you to get a comprehensive natal chart done?
Oh, well, that would be just shoot me a little email at sharita@sharitastar.com.
Perfect.
Easy email.
And it's a very easy email. And I know Sharita's done mine before. And
but I will have, if you're on the email list, which of course, if you go to sharitastar.com, you will find a sign up on any right-hand corner of my any pages on my website. And that will keep you in touch with monthly forecasts, these bi-monthly lunoroscopes. And I also do this kind of cool weekly podcast on Empower Radio, which is 4 minutes. It's so short and sweet every Sunday morning, but you get a little empowerment for your week and how to work with the week's energies.
Nice.
So I've got everything blocked out because I'm like you. I'm going away as well on Sunday, and I'm not going to be in the United States anymore either.
Right.
I'll be overseas with you, but not with you directly.
Right.
But I'm looking forward to that. So
I lost her.
I think I lost her too. Sharita, I think we lost your audio. We're going to put you back and bring you back. Okay.
So I hope that everything is making sense to people. And what I really wanted to drive home tonight about the approach of Mercury retrograde, whether you believe in it or not, and that's okay if you don't, it's really important for everyone to learn how to disconnect and how to be able to regroup and refocus from within, because we are in an instant kind of like Nescafe kind of society. And if we don't have the instant gratification, then
we feel
there's something wrong with us, it
satisfied.
feels like. And, we're always overachieving. We're always, oh my gosh, hello, John Hall. We're always overachieving, or we're always try for this perfection vibe. And that's not what this is all about anymore.
No, it's not.
As a society, we have to start rubbing each other's backs more in a supportive way than how we're going about it, where fake news is very prevalent right now. And yes, there is a lot of fake news out there, and that's why it's so important to disconnect from those sources. And
absolutely.
I do it quite often, where I won't be on some social media for a few days at a time, just because I know that the energy that it's coming towards me, even through the screen, is I just don't want to have to deal with the overwhelmingness of it. So
I couldn't agree with you more. And I know you and I have talked about this on our own time, but I do the same. And one of the things I think I have successfully done already, but I think I'm going to get better at it in the next 5 weeks, is that I'm not going to be on at all.
Right,
I have everything all set up, ready to go. If you're in my tribe and you're following, if you're on my mailing list, you're going to get the information you want. But I'm not going to be like, just constantly on social media, when it is going to be that time and that important time to unplug.
Right.
And to realize, and it, I would say for anyone out there, and it really depends on your age at this point. And I don't want to say age as far as like how old are you, but how far are you into this, remembering what life was like when you didn't have social media? Because there's some of us who know what life is like without it. And then there are many people. I mean, I know for me, I lived half my life without social media. So I know what I used to do and what my habits were and what I used to enjoy, and how I wasn't so fascinated by this all the time. And granted, I got sucked in, when it showed up in my life, I got sucked in like a magnet. I was like, oh my God, this is great, But then I started to realize, and I think for me, in me being an American right now, as well, I couldn't deal with it either. I had to start to filter all that information, and I'm just not going to be the kind of person who's going to be posting negative things on social media. It's not what I do.
Right.
I'm a positive person. I'm here to encourage you. I'm here to bring empowerment into your life. So if I'm there posting something, even if it's my own personal opinion, my personal opinion doesn't really matter in any of this. And I feel like people are so obsessed with, I've got to express my opinion.
Right. And just because you have an opinion,
can't
it doesn't
we
mean
just
you
agree to disagree?
Right. Or can we not just, okay, yes, I see it, but I don't need to react to it.
Exactly.
My choice is
there's
to
the
stay in
biggest
my integrity.
Mercury retrograde word you don't need. You don't
Right.
need reaction.
Right.
So this is what we're going to practice under Virgo, especially under Virgo, is we're not going to react. We're going to respond.
So
Sharita, we're going to think about it a little bit, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a little bit of time left, and I was wondering if someone
I can't believe it went by this fast.
I know. I was wondering if we could find someone that knew when they were born, I mean, as far as the time goes, that you can do a little mini chart with a Mercury retrograde vibe to it.
Actually, let me. All right. I can do this because I got the computer here.
Okay, good. So
I'm going to have to turn away for a little bit.
Yep, that's fine. So anyone in the audience that knows their birth date, obviously you should, but the time of day that they were born, and Sharita will also need to know where you were born. And if you can post that, then Sharita will try to do something together. Whereabouts in Texas, Nina? Because it does make a difference because it is a big state. It was 6:26. So let's try to do 2. So let's do Nina. Nina is 6:26 p.m. on May the 26th. I need the year, hun. Unfortunately, I need the year.
You said May 26th. May 26th?
Yep. May 26th, 6:26 p.m. Galveston, Texas. I'm trying to get the year from Nina. 1964. Okay. Sorry, you're still young, Nina. Don't worry about it.
Okay, and 64 you said. 5:26, 64, 6:26 p.m.
Correct.
All right. Let's see what's going on, Nina. Okay. Career. You got big career reflection coming up. That's what this one's all about for you.
Are you looking for a career change, Nina?
I want to say you're going to transform it in a way that you were not expecting. There's something you're really, really meant to be let go. As the Mercury is starting for you, which will station on the 12th or shortly before the 12th, it's on your natal Pluto in your house of career and public life. So there's something, your recognition, your reward, whatever it is that you do in the public's eye is going through some major death and rebirth. So you're really going to see some turns. And then it's going to backtrack. And then I want to say, give or take right around the eclipse, which will be around the 21st, Mercury is going to be backtracking over your natal Uranus. Because you've always had that unexpected show up in your career anyway. You have a lot of power there, but you also get like these weird turns of events. And there's going to be something like, I want to say a source of information for you that's going to like come your way. You may not need to take any action on it immediately, but what you're going to want to do is get it, do that research, take it into your space and work with it. And then after the September 5th is when you're going to want to go forward. And under that shadow period, and I know we didn't talk a lot about the shadow this evening, but once September 5th arrives, we experience the shadow through the 19th. And that is when we get to, I always say, iron out the wrinkles in our Mercury retrograde fabric. So anything that showed up under the Mercury retrograde passage itself is when we get to fix it and move forward. One of the things we also never said tonight, which of course all of this is in the workshop, so there's so much information I can't even tell you. It's a 1.5 hours workshop. Is human error is highest under Mercury retrograde than during any other time of the year. So with that being said, we don't want to make important decisions in our lives when it's Mercury retrograde because we make them in error. So that means we got to go back and fix it. So why make a really important decision in your life if you don't have to? Wait until after September 5th. Work with the energy moving forward again instead of trying to work with it when it's all tied up in this, like, mishmash of, believe me, this one is tied up in deception. It's aggressive. It's emotional. It's a lot of stuff that's going to be happening in August. And, you said before about taking a breath and breathing. Yeah. I cannot express how important it's going to be this August. And I will touch upon just a hair. For America, this is going to be especially so.
I know it. I know it. Oh, my goodness.
Our president happens to have very significant aspects to not only the eclipse on the 21st of August, but this Mercury retrograde as well. It hits him square on the head, right on the nose. Be prepared.
Yeah.
For whatever happens next. And I'm not a person that likes to, I don't cast off predictions in a way that I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. Yeah. I'm going to tell you to be prepared for change and very intensely changing times in our country.
It's about resetting. It really truly is.
And everything's going to reset things. Yeah. And it's been building to that already, but we haven't seen the most of it yet. And I know America's already shocked and dismayed at this point.
Right.
But be prepared, America, and really remember, take your time to unplug and to filter what you're getting in this news. And, I don't know how many of you, decide to listen to alternative news out there and stop watching CNN and stop watching MSNBC or Fox or whatever it is, because I'm not going to agree it's fake news, but I want to say, take your time to remember your individuality. And I don't want to say humanity doesn't matter, because it absolutely does. But if you're not doing that self-care, you are going to get so wrapped up in this even more than you already are. So it's really important to take this time for yourself and filter the best you can.
There you go, Nina. I hope that helped out. We have time for another one. And if you'd like to join us live on camera, John's going to put up the link, and Sharita and John's going to pull up another name with the details for Sharita to plug into her trusty little camera. And we'll hopefully you'll be willing to come up live on air with us and have some talk. So, John, who's the next contestant on this? Sharita is right.
You're funny. That's cute. I kind of like that.
It just came out.
Maybe we'll make a game show. I like
Absolutely.
that.
Why not?
Just come up with the most brilliant idea I've never had.
So we're going to do Joan.
I see it in the comments.
Okay, good.
Noon.
Yep.
So we have Joan.
That's my grandma's birthday, December 20th.
In Miami Beach. I don't know if that's going to disappear in 5 seconds, but I got it. I might need the, okay, no, got that.
No, John can 12, pull it up as long 19, as he wants. And Joan, if you're listening still, please, if you want to come on video and chat with Sharita and I, that'd be great.
All right.
I hear birds. It must be Sharita.
Oh, they're chirping away here.
Yeah, I love it.
I have my doors open in my country home.
When birds are chirping, there's messages from above.
Oh, well, I'm sure you would know who that is.
Yep.
It's so funny. I always notice these patterns. It's always funny in astrology how much patterns show up, and when I'm doing readings. Mm-hmm. Now, meanwhile, while it's not the exact same pattern, but Joan, you have I want to say, you really got to look at who you're partnered up with and what they're going to be able to do to help you within your career and public life. That's something that wants to show up for you under this next Mercury retrograde. But for you, you happen to have it exactly where it should sit. This Mercury retrograde wants you to reflect upon your habits and routines, what you do to be of service in this world. I don't know if you have pets or what you do with them, but you may be reflecting on pets, or maybe considering getting a pet if you don't have one, or maybe have something show up with your pets changing. Not sure what that may be. But you really want to take a look at how you are addressing your habits and your routines in your life, how you serve yourself physically through your habitual self, but also what you do to be of service to the world. What needs to be recharged, renewed, reviewed, reassessed about that area of your life. And it has a nice relationship to what you're doing in your career and public life. But I also want to say you have another connection to what your partnerships are doing with that too. People you know that you're working one-on-one with, maybe any legal agreements that you have. So take a look at those types of things.
Joan, legal agreements, Joan. Ding, ding, ding.
Does that make sense for you, Lewis?
Yeah.
Did the astrologer agree with the psychic again?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
I love how this works. It fascinates me to no end. I mean, because I don't see it like you do at all.
Right.
I'm very mathematical. I mean, this is just, I'm looking at math.
Yep.
I'm just a mathematician,
that's all it is.
really.
That's all it is. Let's do one more. Oh, is there anything else with Joan that we need to look at?
No, I mean, just for where that sits for her, that's her, that's where her natal chart wants her to reflect. And of course, she's a Sagittarius. So the other way it's going to work for her, just from the sun sign perspective, is it is her career and public life she's reflecting on as well. Right. So there's changes going on in that area of her life.
Which also makes sense for Joan. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's do Tara. And Tara, are you willing to come up on video with us? We'd love to have some interaction here. Come on. Don't be shy.
Come on. Don't be shy.
We don't bite.
Don't be shy. It's a Virgo Mercury retrograde. You don't want to be shy. I mean,
Virgos
like to be shy, but you don't have to be.
Put yourself out there. Can we get Tara?
Get it out there.
Yeah, exactly. Can we put Tara's details up there so that Shreya can plug it in? Come on, Tara. Be a sport. Do you want to put the link up? Do you want to put a link up again, John, to join in video? There we go. Yes, Nina, relationships will be changing, but you have to, but the reflection piece about with relationships for you is definitely about clearing out your mind space closet with previous relationships. And it's a reset for you. And so what you thought worked before and might have worked for a little bit, get rid of those thoughts, because this is, this is graduating from grade school to university for you. And so you're going to have the elective kind of vibe where you get to select how you want your next relationship to be. But you have to reflect upon yourself of where to improve within the need of where you want to be and what you're willing to do to get there, so that your the next relationship can flourish. So definitely that's where the change is coming in with the Mercury retrograde, is because the change is coming in from within yourself of your thoughts. And then after you get your thoughts sorted out, and this is about going into intentions as well, is oh, it's okay, Tara. We'll keep on trying. John, do you have Tara in the back room? So when Joan, when you're talking about your relationships and you're going to see what do I need to do, it's not about, or what do I want, it's not about negative thought processes. So it's like, I don't want a smoker, I don't want someone who treats me bad. You want to make sure that your intentions, and this goes for anyone and everyone, that don't focus on blue eyes or blonde hair. Focus on the quality and traits. I want someone that's going to be monogamous. I want someone that's going to be loving. I want someone who is going to appreciate me for who I am, but is willing to allow me to grow in the space that I need to grow in. So these are the kind of intentions that you want to put out there for people, for not only yourself, but for you to be able to say, this is where I'm supposed to be, and this is where I want to be. And by putting those intentions out, this is going to be able to exactly put me in line with timing, divine timing, not human timing, because that's way off, and to match me up with someone appropriate. And Tara's born in Germany. Wow, that's so cool. I didn't know that. So I hope that helped out too, Joan, with going into your relationship fields and how to reflect and how to reassess. Do we have Tara's information up?
I wanted to see the time again. It's the only thing I missed. I didn't get it in quick enough.
Oh, so September 20th, 7:15 a.m.
I've got everything else.
7:15 a.m.
a.m. Thank you.
La, Germany.
In La, Germany. Like that. Okay. You're about to change your future, Tara. There's all sorts of reflection going on with this upcoming Mercury retrograde about your future. So things that you may have thought the direction it's meant to go, you're going to kind of take a different look at that. And what's also interesting for you, and you are still in what we know as a 2 personal year via numerology. And I just know that because I happened to your birthday, spoke immediately tell you about the eclipses. So there is creative things that you're letting go of, or I want to say any associations with children. There may be some changes dealing with your creative nature or what is happening directly with children in your life, which with the pairing eclipse on the 21st of August, and that one is the 7th of August that I just mentioned. But the one on the 21st of August is about really plummeting new directions for your future to take. Your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, new friends coming into your life, how you are seen amongst your peers. But what's catchy about it is that the eclipse happens under the Mercury retrograde. So it happens, but we've got like a couple of weeks before we're able to like take action on it. So that's what we want to watch with the eclipse that comes up on the 21st of August, is that, yes, it wants us to have this prominent new beginning in our life from wherever it's going to kick off. But the Mercury is reflecting in that same area of the life. And interestingly enough, it stations on the eclipse point when it turns around on September 5th. So what's going to be interesting to see, what you get in information around and about the 21st of August is probably going to completely change by the time September 5th rolls along and we move forward into September. So just see where all of that works. But that's the area of your life you're really going to want to be, focusing on and paying attention to the most. And I mean, you have all sorts of new learning coming into your space this year. It's a very prominent year, fall for you, very punchy new income coming your way. So a lot of new education coming into your life in order to make that happen, though. So make sure you're willing to be a kneeling, submissive student.
Nice. So it's like the teacher becoming the student kind of thing, and to learn to teach again or to continue to teach.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like that. And of course, that will also translate down the road to future money.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that. Were we able to get Tara the link, and was she able to connect with that link, John? Maybe not. Oh, here it comes.
I gave her the link, but I don't know if she's able to actually connect. And I shortened the link to see if that made it any better.
It might be because we're using the Chrome, but we have to.
Yeah, we should say that they should be using Chrome. It might make things a little easier for them.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's get some comments up here too. Harleen says, "Great to hear both of your actual voices."
Hi, Harleen. Thank you.
And we have some other comments coming through as well. So we'll be flashing those up on the screen as they come through. So folks, please interact with us. We do see that the audience is building, and we have extended for another 20-some minutes just to accommodate that. So, all right.
Perfect. Thank you, Joan.
Sure thing.
Reflex, that's for sure. and just let it absorb. It's like a sponge. If you fill a sponge full of water and then you put it in a drain or a strainer and you just allow the water to naturally fall out of the sponge, that's the kind of scenario I want you to do. I just want it to let gravity kind of take control and just let it happen naturally. Don't force it out. There's no need for pushing or anything else like that. So thank you,
I love
Tara.
that analogy. Lewis, I might have to borrow that. I like
Absolutely.
that. I never used this sponge before to describe it. I always use the car.
Oh,
I'm like, throw the car in neutral, coast down the highway. Don't put your foot on the gas. That's what you want. But I love the sponge thing, just kind of letting things set out. Like it's kind of like every 3 months, the sponge has gathered up all the water it needs, and then you're not gonna wring it out. You're just gonna let it.
You're just gonna let it
flow.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let it go. Let it flow.
Yeah. So let's do one more person, and and then anyone that's willing to come up on video, we would greatly appreciate it. Don't be chicken. And do you have anyone for us, John? I think he's sorting through because we did get quite a few people that submitted their information for us.
I do have a few other people that did submit. Let me see if I can go ahead and bring them up. We have Robin Neff.
Mm-hmm. Robin, come on up.
Go. She did not go on camera, but she did submit her information. So it looks like the information is there below.
So Robin,
a lot of shy people, they don't want to come on camera. Maybe it's not working for them. But if you use Google Chrome, just click on the link that I sent you, and it should allow you to go up on stage with us.
Right. Now, is Philadelphia?
Yeah, it looks like Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Did you get her information? Did you get Robin's information, Sharita?
Sharita, were you able to see? Oh, she's on a... Does she hear me? You hear me, right, Lewis?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, John.
Sharita, do you hear me?
No, she doesn't hear us.
Oh, maybe she doesn't hear. That's very weird.
Okay, 1 second, Michael. We're gonna bring the link back in the feed. We just have to get Sharita's audio back so she can hear us, because she's still on the broadcast live. So
yeah, so I'll send her down and we'll take her back up.
Okay, sure. So while we're doing that, again, thank you for everyone that's tuned in tonight, and please like, share, subscribe, comment to not only my page but Sharita's page. You can find her with Sharita Star. That's with 2 R's in Star. And again, I'm going to be doing something with she can't still hear us, John. So I'm going to be doing another healing session for anyone that has liked and tagged people in the comment section, so that for next time, and that will be in August, that I'll be back doing these things. I'm going to be in Europe, but during that time in Europe, I'm going to be doing some short little mini, not podcasts, but videos on ancient architectural buildings like castles and stuff like that, and I'm going to be doing little mini reading vibes on the actual energy of the area itself. And so be looking forward to some of those. Hopefully I can get them up in a mannerly time frame so everyone can enjoy it. But again, for tonight, we're going to be doing another giveaway of a healing session, and I'm going to ask Sharita if she would be willing to do a natal chart for someone as a thank you gift for joining us tonight. And again, all you got to do is like this broadcast after it goes up on Facebook, share it with all your friends, and tag people in it so that we know that you've done all those 3, and you'll get a little credit beside your name and be put into the draw. So do we have Sharita back yet, John?
Sharita's coming back. She's just resetting her app. So just once again for folks, if you do click the share button, just comment below in the comments with the @ and the name of the person you shared it with. You can share it to your wall, but please tag a friend so that we know. That way we can track how many shares, because Facebook doesn't always show us who shared unless you tag a friend in the comments. So just let us know that. And I'm waiting for Sheree to come back. In the meantime, I have someone in the audience that wants to join us. So let's bring Michael on.
Sure.
Hold on, I need to.
So just let us know that.
There's Michael, and he needs to have his audio. He needs to find his earbuds. And if anyone doesn't know, and you're seeing Michael's video in the background, Michael does this one-man show, the Paul Lynde Show. And if anyone remembers Paul Lynde from the Center in the Square, or not Center in the Square, but Hollywood Squares, he also was on Bewitched as Uncle Arthur. He also did stand-up comedy. Obviously, he was in Bye Bye Birdie. He was a iconic Hollywood star of the 70s and 80s. And Michael's having some audio issues. And Sharita's back, though. Can you hear us, Sharita? Maybe not. Tara shared it with Dan. Thank you, Tara. Are you able to connect, Michael? Oh, I can hear you. Oh, I can hear Champers. We can hear you, Michael. Oh, maybe he can't hear us, though.
There we go.
Oh, there we are.
Sorry.
Hello, Michael.
Hello, Louis.
How are you?
Yeah, I didn't come here. I didn't realize that.
That's Champers.
Yeah, I didn't realize that I can hear you.
Yep, good. So we just have to get Sharita rebooted with her live screen video, and she'll be up in a second, and then she can pull up your chart.
It's very bizarre because I'm trying to figure out the delay. There's a delay.
Oh, that's technology.
I mean,
right.
That's all I'm saying.
But I think we're caught up now because I didn't realize that
Yes, indeed. Mini Hollywood Squares, and Michael's energy is to be, we can still hear you, Michael. Do this to your thing. Are you here, Sharita? John, we're having some issues here. So Sharita's working on, looks like the computer, so she's probably bringing up Michael's chart, and hopefully we can connect with. I can hear her typing, so that's a good sign. But I don't. Oh, there you are. There's Michael back. Oh, there's Robin. Okay. So do we have Robin's information first? Oh, Sharita went by. Sorry, Robin. We're trying to get all this little bloop loop all figured out. So again, thank you, Tara, for sharing that with Dan. Please, everyone else, if you are so inclined to tag and share and like this video, and so that we can spread the joy and love. I am going on a little bit of a hiatus for vacation, and when I come back, this is a learning curve for me, and I really want everyone to be able to enjoy the topics we have in hand and do readings and all that sort of thing. Do you have Robin's information, Sharita? I don't know if she can hear us, John. Okay, are you able to communicate with Sharita, John?
Yeah, Louis, do you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, Sharita, do you hear me? If you hear us, just let us know, because we hear your mic. Apparently you don't hear us through your headphones.
Oh,
there you
are. You're there, but you're like an alien.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Do you have Robin's information?
I mean, I hear you. You're better right now than you were in the last 5 minutes.
Oh,
okay.
That's great. Okay.
But everything went really warbly. And everything disconnected and.
Okay. Do you have Robin's information? Because we hear you loud and clear with no problems.
Robin, I don't think I got Robin's information.
Can you put that back up?
Sure, I'll put it back up on the screen. It was.
I mean, I think at that time it just didn't come through. I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
No problem. Okay, so it's up on the screen there.
Robin.
Yeah, so we have 9/18/1953, 10:32 p.m. in Philly.
Pardon?
Philadelphia. We're just repeating the Robin's information back.
Mm-hmm. We must have lost Michael as well.
Yeah, he. Can you put the link back on,
Sure.
John?
Yeah. Yeah, because what happens with Facebook Live is the links disappear
after. And Michael, if you can hear us, refresh your Chrome browser first to see if it needs to be updated. That might help out with everything.
Exactly. Go to the help.
So this is all about reflection for you, Robin, in your home and family life.
It's back. Okay.
You have also very prominent directions your home and family life is going to be taking this year due to the solar eclipse as well on the 21st of August. But again, that information you'll receive around that time, you want to reflect on it, take action after the 5th of September. So it's all about how you nurture what you do with any environment, close-knit environment in your life, but most of the time it's directly connected to the home and the family. So a lot of changes, a lot of reflection, reconsideration, reflection coming up about that in August for you. And then a lot of new beginnings rolling out of that, moving into the fall.
Right. Now, is this like a total reset kind of new beginnings for her in the fall?
And I don't hear you guys again. You hear me.
Here, go to your chat window for a second.
I see Michael moving. I can't hear him.
No.
Then he just disappeared again.
Sharita, do you hear me okay?
There we go. There's John. Sharita, can you hear us now, Sharita?
Did you hear any of what I said just now? Or?
Yeah, we heard you clearly.
No.
Yes.
So what?
Okay, so we got Robin. We got Robin out and good.
My question for you.
Brand new. I want to say for you, Robin, if you've been experiencing a lot of endings and conclusions in your life over the past year, you really need to know that everything leaving you is meant to be clearing out, because you're entering a brand new 9-year chapter in your life, moving past your birthday in September. So you're going to be in the space once September is really full on and your birthday arrives. If it's new, it's for you. So don't be a shy Virgo. You got to check out all those opportunities. Opportunities coming
so this is that'll be
and
a
they're
good
going
time
to all
for her.
spill out from September to next September. So you have a whole year ahead of you past September where all that's going to happen.
I love that. So this is definitely about being more of an extrovert after her birthday, so that she can be seen and to pick up all that new. And Robin, I think that's going to be very critical for you to put in the back of your mind is, what can I do so that I get noticed? And with that being said, it's about making sure that your strength, and I just don't mean physical strength, but your strength within is vibrating on a really good brand new level. So any insecurities or anything like that, get rid of them, and if you want to even change your favorite color from red to purple, go right ahead, because this is the time for you to start things new. I love it. Love it.
Right. And Sharita, if you hear me okay, we know that you're running out of time and you committed for an hour and we went a little overtime. So we do thank you for staying extra with us.
Yes, thank you so much.
It's all cool. It was my pleasure. I loved it. It was fantastic. It's been a good time. And it's funny. It's like Mercury retrograde a little ahead of time. I mean, exactly. In Virgo today, maybe we're getting a taste of what's going to happen.
This could be like a trailer.
It looks like Michael may have figured out his setting.
This is an erratic week, I have to say. It's funny. Even the weekly energy for the week, there's scattered and reckless energy around. So it is creating upset in technology, even though it's not a Mercury retrograde. It's funny. I've had a lot of people say to me, it's not Mercury retrograde again or right now. And I'm like, no, we're just getting some other and
to
tensions
refresh,
in the universe.
To refresh for us, Mercury retrograde is what dates?
It will officially start. I think it's very late in the day on August 12th, Eastern Standard Time, and then it will transpire until the 5th of September.
Very good. Well, thank you so much,
So
Rita.
we've got pretty much winding down summer, getting ready to go back to school, and all that fun stuff all wrapped up under Mercury retrograde bow.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for coming on tonight and enlightening us with more information about Mercury retrograde. And thank you to everyone that has tuned in as well. I'm sorry that we couldn't get Michael on screen. We did try our best, but unfortunately there was some technical difficulties. So thank you, Michael, for being a trooper and trying. We really appreciate it. And like I said, this is going to be my time to go on a little bit of a hiatus.
Now I'm on.
Oh, now he's on.
I figured it out.
Now he's on.
He figured it out. Okay,
I have to leave. No, it's all good.
No, you can't be.
And then there's Michael Arrington.
No, you can't be on the Facebook camera and on the Be Live guest camera because you get double the sound and it's confusing.
Be Live.
So anybody that checks in as a guest like this, you have to turn off the other one, the actual Facebook.
Gotcha.
You gotta have the app. You gotta have the app.
You gotta be on the Be Live app. So everybody, it was so wonderful.
You gotta be on Be Live.
You two are actually, I have to say, these are the two best in the business. Absolutely incredible. And if I couldn't say anything, that's about it. So goodbye.
Thank you, Michael.
You're welcome. Bye, John.
And my humility and gratitude to
Absolutely.
that comment.
So everyone, thank you again for joining us. It's been a great pleasure to have you with us for this hour and a half. And thank you again to Sharita. And again, remember to always, always, always take some time to reflect, go inward so that you can go outward, and make sure that you get your favorite view, your favorite beverage, and your favorite chair, and enjoy. Until the next time in August, I bid you adieu, good night, bonsoir, and have a great and safe Mercury in retrograde. Bye for now.